Hello ladies, it's Stella here again with the Treasure Island Challenge week 7. First of all, I want to say thank you to anybody that has subscribed to my channel this week. I do appreciate that, and thank you for watching the last video. Sometimes it's easier to explain things with a video, and this week I'm going to be asking you how you were getting on with decorating your blue pages. I've been doing some, and I'll show you what I've done, and then I'm going to show you how I use these gizmos here to round off the corners on the pages in case you haven't done that before. So I've done a few extra bits to the journal, mainly to do with the blue pages, but not all. Some of the pages don't really need decorating if the dyeing has come out very well. And also, if you're opposite a page that's got something special on it, I'll come to that another time, you don't really want both pages to be decorated too highly, because then there's no room to write. Some people are happy just to write on a small journal card, but other people like the whole page. So just think about it when you do it. I'm lucky enough to have a sewing machine with fancy stitches on it, and I had this one which reminds me obviously of the Ways of the Sea. So I've used that to make some lines on this page. That's not a blue page. On the blue page I've sewn an ordinary thread to look like the sea, and I thought that was quite effective. Of course, it comes out both sides, so you've done all 4 pages in one go. And if you haven't got a sewing machine, you could draw that on or paint it on. This page I went a bit to town with. I've made a under the sea show with some sari silk and some anemone cutouts that I made, and a few other bits and pieces just to make it look pretty. Quite pleased with that. This one again, I've just used the fancy stitch to go around the edge and a mermaid stamp in the corner. And this page here, this was the back of a Christmas card which I've torn round the edges and distressed with the distress ink. This is the walnut stain one, and then I've stitched around the 2 sides here to hold it in, and just a little bit at the top because it's quite large. And that means that you can put something in there, maybe a plain sheet or any sort of page that you want. I was quite pleased with that. Here on this page I've done a little cluster. Well, it's quite a big cluster in fact, and I had the shell stamp again. I don't have many stamps, but I'm using what I've got and coloured that in. That's the first signature, and this one is going to be mostly about the ship. The second one is going to be more about the sea, and the third one is going to be once we get to the island. So I'll just show you the second one. I'm not sure there's much different here. Again, I've done sewing on that page and the others. This page I've used the blue to make some pockets, and I'll be talking more about those in another week. There's 3 pockets here, and I've stitched them onto the page. More about that later. This page I drew a fish, there he is, and I had some bubbles which I was able to stick on, and they came in a little pack. And when I was looking for them, they weren't actually the ones I was looking for. The ones I was looking for were more blue, but these are green. But they've stuck on rather well, and those are the bubbles coming out of the fish as he swims along. This page I did, I think I showed you last week, with the dolphins, and that's the centre spread. The dolphins plunging in and out of the sea. And again, this time I've used some more pocket trim and some more waves. So that's that one. And this one, the third one, I had another fancy stitch, so in this one I've made the waves a bit more lively. The sea is becoming rather rough, and I drew, let me get my mermaid picture, show you. So I drew the mermaid picture, and then I copied it on the scanner in such a way that only some of it was showing, to allow for some more writing around the edges. So there she is, you can only see a little bit of her. This blue page, I've decorated it with a cutout page from a book about the seashore, so that's got some blue on it and some nice bits and pieces to read about. And again, these are the waves. So this one I showed you last week with the fish and the weed, and at the back is the other half of the island picture with the palm trees on it. So that's those. And now, if you haven't seen these before, these are the shapers for the corners. I'm going to use this one, it's a bit bigger. This is the 5mm one, and this one is 10. The little bits go in here at the back, and what you do is you push the corner of the page into there as best you can, because it isn't always easy, and you cut it off, and then you've got a nice little rounded corner. And I think that looks nicer than the sharp corner. So I'm going to go through there. And so for this week, what I'd like you to do for the challenge is to finish off decorating your blue pages, and then to think about the pockets for next week. If you've got one of these, you can do what I'm doing now, rounding off all the corners. And if you haven't got one of these and you want to get one, then you've got time to seek one out or order one from Amazon and do it by the end of next week. So we're going to be thinking about pockets and doing pockets next week. So you might like to look at some videos on YouTube and see the different sorts of pockets that you might like to make. Okay, so have a good week, and I'll speak to you again about the challenge next week. Bye for now.